Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. So, today we are going to talk about 7 Days to Die. And I'm doing something a little different today because I do happen to stream 7 Days to Die, generally Saturday nights on my Horror Almirada channel, which you can see all the links for right above my head, or you can find in my link tree in the description if you ever want to catch it. That said, I thought while showing off a little bit of the that's a really boring part. Hold on, let me fix that. There we go. That should be more interesting. Yes, I do actually connect it on my Twitch, so if you want to come over and torture me while we play it, you're more than welcome to. But while that's going on in the background, I thought it might be fun to talk about, well, where it came from, how long it's been around, and how long it took for it to finally reach full release. Apparently, for a game called 7 Days to Die, it actually took approximately 3,878 days to become an actually out game. Now, a lot of this information I am taking from the article after 3,878 days in early access, zombie survival game 7 Days to Die finally releases on PC Gamer, written by Jonathan Bolding. The game has been available on Steam for approximately 11 and a half years. So really, this game has been out for quite... Look at me hit the zombie. Has been out as early release for quite a long time. Somewhat unsurprisingly. It is a first-person zombie survival crafting game with a sandbox world. You can destroy just about everything in the world. Dig all the way down to the bottom. We've taken out whole buildings, obviously not in this playthrough yet. We are just starting over again. But you can take apart cars. Like I said, we've blown up entire buildings. You can dig through forever. You can build yourself a base in the ground if you want, or you can steal a building and build that up, or you can build your own from scratch. I've seen some really interesting designs that people have made for farming things, getting zombies to drop into death pits. There's traps, there's guns, there's flying machines. It's a lot of fun. Part of why I enjoy playing it. And with the full release, the models and everything, I don't know if you've played it in the past, the models and everything have seen a substantial upgrade. Even though they have gotten rid of a number of sliders. Don't mind the fact that he's naked, please. He just hasn't gotten dressed yet. He will be dressed in a minute. We all end up looking like tree people before the end of it, but I doubt we'll get that far in because I'm just showing you the stream from Saturday. There are over 75 points of interest to explore. There are new zombie model variants. There's tweaks to character progression. They've changed so much just in the time I've played it. I've only been playing it probably 2 years off and on now. And the amount of changes that we've seen in that period of time, not to mention over the full 11.5 years, people used to eat glass to die. You used to drink the water out of your jars and you got to keep the jars. I miss that part. The fact that I don't get to keep my jars to refill is bothersome to me. Apparently we just toss them out now. Originally it was actually on Xbox, was being published by Telltale Games until they went out of business, hence disabling all support on consoles. But the Fun Pimps who created the game have since come back and are trying to foster that again. There is actually cross-play planned for it in the future. For those of you who like survival games, it can be a lot of fun, especially if you hate the undead, like one of my friends absolutely hates the undead. It's part of why we play it, is because he likes killing the zombies. For those who haven't played it, part of the gimmick of the game is every 7 days, or approximately, depending on how you have your individual server set up, what happens is you get what's called a blood moon. And on the blood moon, the zombies spawn in huge amounts, run at you, attempt to break everything that you've built in the 7 days previous. And as this goes on, it gets more and more difficult. The zombies get stronger, they get faster, more types start to show up. They have everything from, obviously, you see here, this lady who, if I recall, she kills me here in a minute. That or I already died, I don't remember. Because I do die. I die quite a lot. But you have models like her. You have models in a hoodie. Those tend to be actually a little faster. You have big fat tourists who are hard to kill. You have demolitions who, if you shoot in the wrong place or if you don't kill fast enough, will actually explode and build and break up your building. Cops who spit acid at everything. You have zombie dogs, zombie bears, zombie wolves, just all sorts of things. Zombie lions. There's a bunch of different terrains. Here you're really only going to see the foresty area and the town. Right now you're actually probably just going to see that house and the naked guy there who still hasn't gotten dressed by this point. Oh, this guy is the one that kills me. There we go. But it is one of the interesting things about early access is while a game can be stuck there for a long time, even up to the point that the game never actually becomes a full-fledged game, it does give developers the ability to develop over a slightly longer period of time while continuing to earn money. The issue is much like crowdfunding of any kind, is whether or not it becomes real or not. Is it going to become vaporware, or is it going to go unsupported because the game company never really put anything into it? If I recall, there were some fears about that regarding Palworld because it actually had some previous iterations of gaming that it had abandoned and just stopped messing with. And there's a whole lot of vaporware out there, games that get out there, put out for early access, maybe for $5-10, and the developer makes not a bunch, but makes some money off of it and disappears and never goes anywhere. That is definitely one of the dangers of early access gaming. But for those who choose to take it seriously and follow through on the gaming or on the development, you get some good games. Baldur's Gate 3 was early access for, I want to say it hit early access in 2020 during the whole COVID time, because that's when I purchased it, when it went early access. And for $20, it was a fun game at the time. I didn't play very much of it just because personally I don't like to go through the storyline until I can go through the whole storyline. But I paid the $20. I got to play it a little bit to see what I was getting into. And then when it came out fully, it's not like I had to pay any more. I got a really good game that other people paid $60 or more for $20. It's just like 7 Days to Die. I know when it hit Steam. Actually, let's take a look right now. Hold on. So 7 Days to Die right now for the singular game is $49.99. I probably got it for $7 or something because of the number of times it went on sale for low amounts and people could just buy it. I have a community member who bought copies for other people and actually bought me a couple copies that I could give away to people so that people could play with us. And that's something, oh, there we go, I'm dying. And that's something that you can only get through that kind of thing. You know, it's not like, oh my God, I have 34 out of 43 achievements on this. I should figure out what the 9 achievements I don't have are. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the game page in front of me. But of course, you do start the game basically naked. Or actually naked, I should say. You build your first weapons, you move on to finding the trader, then you find where you're going to live, and you want to be in a place before the night because the zombies can be stronger and harder at night. The hardest thing we're having right now is finding food and water. You do put down dew collectors to create water, but then that water's murky, so then you have to boil it. Finding food can be difficult. They don't spawn the creatures as much in the towns anymore, it seems. And again, there were significant changes between them going full release and even the Alpha 22 or the 21. I think it was Alpha 21 they had just before they fully released. And just the changes between Alpha 20 and Alpha 21 were huge. Most of the changes for full release appear honestly to me to be mostly cosmetic. The changes in the character models and the zombie models and a lot of the POI models and so forth, they've definitely changed things up there. They've also adapted a new sort of systems to help, a new tutorial system to help you through getting through the beginning stages, where you saw me pulling it up back at the very beginning, where you hit Y and it gives you all these tasks that you can perform to get some more experience points. Overall, it's a fun game. But like, part of the reason I'm talking about this is to talk about the early access thing, because I know a lot of people don't like the idea of early access, but it does definitely have a purpose. With early access, a developer can get a little bit of money, keep themselves afloat, and continue developing the game, not only getting player feedback, and yes, they skip the costly need for maybe beta testers, or they skip the whole beta testing process because you are the beta tester. But because you paid less for the game, you can anticipate that there's going to be these issues that they're going to have to fix, as opposed to just assuming it's supposed to be perfect right out of the box. And it gives them access to a lot of data that helps them produce a better game. I do fully believe that early access is part of why Baldur's Gate enjoyed such a bug-free first chapter. I know there's some issues later in the game that came out, but overall, as far as a release went, having a release like Baldur's Gate did, that was really smooth in comparison to so many things today. So many games today release, and they are just absolutely buggy messes. But personally, I am glad to see that even though it took them nearly 12 years to get out of development and into full release. And full release isn't necessarily over for them. I'm going to say they probably went full release because it's going to give them a sudden influx of cash to continue developing. But they do have fun things like the Twitch integration, where if you do choose to watch on Twitch, you can drop goodies off on us, or you can just torture us by sending zombies and other creatures, or by handicapping us. It can turn into an absolute madhouse. It's very entertaining. But they don't seem to have given up on the game in any way. They definitely continued to push it forward throughout that time. Even if there were some lulls, it's hard to do this, but the early access gave them the ability to do it without having to rely on a large publisher like Sony or Xbox. So they didn't have the limitations on some of the things. You'll see some of the character models are quite well developed, quite naked, and there's definitely blood and gore in this game, all sorts. So they didn't have to censor themselves to get themselves released either. In a world where AAA gaming is slowly but surely dying and failing us, we may have to look more towards this kind of gaming, where we help incentivize people just developing so that they can get it out there. Steam really does help in a lot of ways, even if some of their practices are definitely questionable. We can only hope that they remain open. I would like to see, of course, more competition from GOG and so forth with the DRM free. But one thing at a time. I'm glad to see that 7 Days to Die has escaped the development hell it had put itself in. It has finally gone full release, and hopefully more people will enjoy playing it. If you would like to enjoy seeing me die to the undead while me and my friends snipe at each other, bitch, and occasionally kill each other because friendly fire is in fact on, that's what we're doing on Saturdays right now. All that, what do you think? Are you one of the people who don't like early access? Because I do understand the arguments against. Are you someone who likes early access games, or are you indifferent? What do you think of 7 Days to Die? I find it a very fun game. If it's not your kind of game, that's cool too. But let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.